You know what's crazy? You practice more than anyone on your team. You watch the highlights, study the plays, show up early, and yet when game time hits, you're practically invisible. Here's why. Most people think dominating in sports is about being the most athletic. Wrong. Dead wrong. I've seen guys who can barely dunk become the most valuable players on their basketball team. I've watched slow defenders become absolute nightmares in soccer, and it all comes down to one thing nobody talks about. See, there's this thing called game intelligence, and it's not about memorizing plays. Let me break this down. When you're on the court, field, or rink, your brain is processing like 1,000 things per second. Most players are stuck in reactive mode. They see the ball, they chase it, they see an opening, they maybe take it. But dominant players, they're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Take someone like LeBron James. Yeah, he's athletic, but you know what separates him? Dude sees plays developing 3 passes before they happen. In football, think of Tom Brady. Not the fastest, not the strongest, but he reads defenses like a children's book. Here's the issue. You're probably playing in the moment instead of ahead of the moment. When you get the ball in basketball, what's your first thought? Where do I shoot from? Wrong question. Dominant players think, where will the defense rotate? Who's crashing the boards? What's my second option? And this applies to literally every sport. In soccer, you're not just running toward the ball. You're calculating passing lanes. In hockey, you're not chasing the puck. You're positioning where it's going to be. Even in baseball, you're not just waiting for your pitch. You're studying the pitcher's patterns from at-bat 1. First fix, develop supernatural spatial awareness. Here's a drill that sounds dumb, but works like magic. Next practice, spend 5 minutes just watching without participating. Just observe. Watch how players move when they don't have the ball. Notice the patterns. In basketball, see how defenders shift. In football, watch how offensive lines telegraph plays. Your brain needs to build a mental map of the game flow. Then when you're playing, force yourself to check your surroundings every 3 seconds. Literally count it at first. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, where's everyone at? Sounds robotic, but after 2 weeks, it becomes automatic. Second thing, stop sprinting at 100% all the time like a maniac. I see this constantly. Players going absolutely ham for the first quarter, then they're gassed and useless. Dominant athletes are masters of the selective explosion. They cruise at 70%, then hit 100% at the perfect moments. Watch any professional game, really watch it. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't sprinting for 90 minutes. He's jogging, positioning, conserving, then boom, explosive run at the exact right moment. Same with Steph Curry. He's not fighting through screens every possession, he's picking his spots. Third game changer, talk. Like actually talk. The best players are loud as hell. They're calling out switches, directing traffic, telling teammates where to be. You could be an average player skill-wise, but if you're the voice of the team, you become invaluable. In volleyball, the setter who communicates becomes the de facto leader. In basketball, the point guard who calls out defensive assignments gets respect. In football, the linebacker directing the defense becomes the backbone. Communication literally makes you more dominant without touching the ball. Fourth, be elite at one specific thing. Don't try to be good at everything. That's how you become mediocre at everything. Pick your weapon. Are you going to be the guy who always boxes out? The person who never loses a 50-50 ball? The defender who sticks to their man like glue? This is how role players become indispensable. Draymond Green isn't the best scorer, but he's elite at defense and passing. Dennis Rodman couldn't shoot to save his life, but rebounding? Untouchable. Find your thing, make it your identity. Fifth, watch film of yourself, and it'll hurt your feelings. Record your games, watch them back. You'll realize you're making bonehead decisions you didn't even notice in real time. You'll see your ball watching when you should be cutting. You'll notice you give up on plays early. This is what separates good from great. Every pro athlete watches film religiously. You don't need a coach, just your phone and brutal honesty. Watch 5 minutes after every game. You'll improve faster than any drill. Sixth, train your mind as hard as your body. Mental fatigue is real. Fourth quarter comes and people make stupid decisions because their brain is tired, not just their body. Practice visualization. Literally sit and imagine game scenarios, how you'd react, where you'd move. The mind runs out of gas before the body does. Spend 10 minutes a day visualizing. See yourself making the right pass. Feel yourself in position. Hear yourself calling out plays. Sounds like mumbo jumbo, but Olympic athletes do this for a reason. Look, dominating team sports isn't about being the most talented. It's about being the smartest, the most prepared, and the most relentless in the right ways. You don't need to be 6'8". You don't need to run a 4.440. You need to understand the game at a deeper level than everyone else. Start with one thing from this list. Just one. Master your spatial awareness, or pick your signature skill, or become the communicator. Do that for 2 weeks, and I guarantee people will start looking at you different on that court. You'll go from invisible to indispensable. Now get out there and prove it.